Hello, today is Monday, February 9th, 2026. There are only 20 days left, but starting this weekend, we have very extended holiday called Lunar New Year, Year's Day. So the holiday officially ends on Wednesday, but usually we visit our parents in the rural area, like a 3 hours drive or 2 hours drive, even a 6 hours drive from Seoul. So we usually take a holiday. If you take a 2 days holiday on Thursday and Friday, then you have basically 9-day holiday, right? So there would be only 2 weeks left before the end of this month, and then it will be a March, right? March 2026. So we have to work very hard, diligently. Also, we need to relax and enjoy the extended holiday. China also celebrates the New Year holiday, Lunar New Year's holiday. Also, Taiwan and some other Asian countries celebrate the holiday, like Malaysia, Singapore, because they have many Chinese descendants. Japan doesn't celebrate the Lunar New Year's holiday. Their system is more tuned to the Western holidays, Western system of the year's landmarks. As with other day, let's learn English by reading an English article. This one is from AP. Ukraine businesses struggle to cope as Russian attacks bring power cuts and uncertainty. Camilla Hrabchuk, Sunday, February 9th, 2026. So the photo and the subtitle is caption: Russia-Ukraine war small businesses. Olha Hrenchuk, 28, owner of bakery, bakes bread early morning, running on a generator during a blackout caused by Russia's regular air attacks on the country's energy system on Friday, January 30th, 2026, in Kiev. So the photo was taken by AP, Ephraim Lukatsky, Associated Press. Another photo shows a man passes by a bakery in the early hours of Friday, January 30th, 2026, in Kiev. Photo, also Ephraim Lukatsky, AP photo. Another photo shows employees of the Rito Group, a clothing company that produces knitwear, work on a generator during a blackout caused by Russia's regular air attacks on the country's energy system Friday, January 30th, 2026. An employee of the Rito Group, a clothing company that produces knitwear, works during a blackout caused by Russia's regular air attacks on the country's energy system Friday, January 30th, 2026, in Kiev. Co-founder of Cafe Yana Biliam, 33, reacts in her inactive cafe because of Russia's air attacks on the country's energy system Friday, January 30th, 2026, in Kiev. Kiev, Ukraine. It is pre-dawn in the historic Podil district of the Ukraine capital Kiev, and warm light from the Sparta Bakery Bristol's window pierces the darkness outside. on a wooden surface dusted with flour. The baker Alexandra Sandra Kutsenko skillfully, or so skillfully is only single L, skil, skillfully. Let's look up the word. AP is a very renowned source of the news, but it can be skillfully. Maybe I could be wrong. With a skill. Let's go to web dictionary like dictionary.com. Skillfully. Let's look up single L, skillfully. Block. Try again. Oh man. I guess this typo, right? Typo. So we go back. Skillfully. Skillfully divides and shapes soft, damp pieces of dough. As he shoves the first loaves into the oven, a sweet, delicate aroma of fresh bread fills the space. Seconds later, the lights go out. The oven switches off and darkness envelopes the room. Kutsenko 31 steps outside into the freezing night, switches on a large rectangular generator, and the power kicks back in. That's good expression, right? The power kicks back in. The power kicks back in. It is a pattern that will be repeated many times as the business struggles to keep working through the power outages caused by Russia's bombing campaign on Ukraine's energy grid. It is now more than impossible to imagine a Ukrainian business operating without a generator, said Olha Hrinchuk, co-founder and the head baker of Spelta. The cost of purchasing the operating generators to overcome power outages is just one of many challenges facing Ukrainian businesses after nearly 4 years of war. 4 fucking years, right? That's long and many casualties. I feel sad about the war. Acute labor shortages due to mobilization and war-related migration security risks, declining purchasing power, and complicated logistics add to the pressure, officials say. Hrinchuk, 28, opened the bakery 10 months after Russia launched its full-scale invasion in 2022. That winter was the first year Russia targeted Ukraine's energy system. Hrinchuk says they barely know what it is to work under normal conditions, but have never faced the challenges they do now. Production is entirely dependent on electricity, and the generator burns about 700 hryvnias, or $16 worth of fuel per hour. Wow, that's a lot. We run on a generator for 10 to 12 hours a day. You have no fixed schedule. You have to adapt and refuel it at the same time, Hrinchuk said. Operate at a loss. Olha Nasanova, 52, who is head of the Restaurants of Ukraine Analytical Center, says the industry is experiencing its most difficult period of the past 20 years. While businesses were prepared for electricity cuts, no one expected such a cold winter, and it's been especially tough for small cafes and family-run establishments because they have the least financial resources. The best way to cup project, which has 2 venues and roasts and grinds its own cafe, is on the brink of a permanent closure. Oh, the cafe name, right? The best way to cup project, which has 2 venues and roasts and grinds its own coffee, is on the brink of a permanent closure. Co-founder Yana Bilim, 33, who opened the cafe in May, said a Russian attack shattered all its windows and glass doors in August. Bilim said the cost of renovation was 100,000 hryvnias, about $3,400, half of which she financed with a bank loan that she only recently finished repaying. Interesting. I thought if the war breaks out, the hell gets loose and you lose all the money and you evacuate the city and dodge to the rural area or neighboring countries. But you continue to operate your business, open it and remodel it, retrofit it and fix it. That's unimaginable by my standards, so I'm interested in this article. Last month, after several consecutive large-scale Russian attacks on the energy sector, her entire building lost its water supply, and soon after the sewer system stopped working. We were forced to close. We believe it's temporary. Businesses in December and January unfortunately operate at a loss, Bilim said. Now she has to regularly check the coffee machine and the specialty refrigerators, which she fears may not withstand the cold. Bilim hopes the closure is short-term. Her husband volunteered to serve in the military on the front line, and she wants him to have somewhere to come back to when she returns to civilian life. Generators are expensive to run. Many businesses have become a lifeline for communities struggling with plunging temperatures. Ukraine's government has allowed some firms to operate during curfew hours in the energy emergency as points of invincibility, allowing access to free electricity, to charge phones and power banks, drink tea, and have some respite from the cold. That's another good expression. Some respite from the cold. Tatiana Abramova, 61, is a founder of the Retail Group, a clothing company that has been producing designer knitwear for men and women since 1991, the year Ukraine became independent. It participates in Ukraine Fashion Week, the country's biggest fashion show, and exports garments to the United States. Abramova took out a loan in 2022 to purchase a powerful 35-kilowatt generator costing 500,000 hryvnias, or $11,500, to keep the business running during blackouts and a wood-fired boiler for heating. At work, we have heat, we have water, we have light, and we have each other, she said. That's good. But it's not easy. Operating on generators is 15% to 20% more expensive than using regular electricity. As a result, production costs are currently about 15% higher than normal. Added to that, customer numbers have dropped by about 40% as many people have left the country. So the focus is now on attracting new clients through online sales. Profitability has fallen by around 50%, particularly due to power outages, she said. This affects both the volume and efficiency of our work. We simply cannot operate as much as we used to. Main goal is to survive. A macroeconomic forecast by the Kiev School of Economics for the first quarter of 2026 says strikes on the energy system are currently the most acute short-term risk to the country's GDP. The analysis says if business manages to adapt, output losses could be limited to around 1% or 2% of GDP. Wow. Oh, okay. Output losses. I thought GDP will be 1 or 2% of the previous GDP numbers. So the analysis says if business manages to adapt, output losses could be limited to around 1% or 2% of GDP. That's good. But if the energy system failures are prolonged, it could lead to large losses of as much as 2% or 3% of GDP. That's a lot. Abramova, an entrepreneur with more than 30 years of experience, says she spent nearly 100,000 hryvnias, or $2,300, over 2 months on generator servicing to maintain production, but she cannot pass all those costs on to retailers. For us now, the main goal is not to be the most efficient, but to survive, Abramova said. Associated. For us, the main goal is not to be the most efficient, but to survive. Well, the Ukrainians are doing very well under in the war and under the pressure from international relations and the constant Russian bombardment. They are doing fairly well, and their GDP will be limited. The loss of the GDP, output loss of the businesses will be limited like to 1% or 2% of GDP. And the government allow the businesses to have access to electricity, to charge their phones and power banks, and also to drink tea or have some heat in respite from the cold, right? In respite from the cold. And what else? Everybody is struggling in Ukraine. About 40% of the population left the country already. So the businesses are struggling. They are in the red, and they are expanding their businesses online so that they could sell more products to Ukrainians themselves, and also to foreigners like myself, like me. So I think I need to check on the Ukrainian online shopping mall and see if I can buy some clothes. I hope the war will be resolved peacefully, and there is a permanent peace on the Ukrainian and Russian territories. I hope all the best for everybody. But let's check out what I have marked to remember. Power kicks back in. A respite from the cold. Some respite from the cold. some respite from the cold, some respite from the cold. Power kicks back in, power kicks back in. Thanks for listening. Have a great Monday. Bye-bye.